Kia ora. This is a quick overview of using this simulation of disturbing a chemical equilibrium. Now, don't worry too much about these values over here. You will learn all about them in lesson 5. What we're going to be focusing on in this lesson is to see what happens when I disturb the equilibrium by either removing a product or adding a product, or removing a reactant and adding a reactant. So let's start with this reaction of A plus B going to C plus D. And I have got A as being 5.5 moles per litre and B being 0.5 moles per litre. And I've got no C and I've got no D. So if I equilibrate, then notice that my A and B, which is in the black, is going down, and my C and D is going up until it flattens out and it is now in equilibrium. What happens if I add more reactants? So say I add a lot more of A, and you can see that this line down here has gone up, and I equilibrate again. So the stress is adding more A. So by Le Chatelier's principle, the system moves in such a way as to decrease that stress. So if I add A, then it's going to shift to remove A. So the only way it can remove A is to produce more C and D, and therefore use up A and B. So my A decreases, my B decreases, but my C and D will increase. So let's try this again, and we'll just use these values that are preset. If I equilibrate, then there is my A going down. I started off more with A. There's my B going down, and they go down at the same rate because it's a 1:1 ratio. And I had slightly more C than D, so they go up. Now, what happens if I remove some A from the system? So if I take this down and I equilibrate, then the stress was removing A, and so to relieve that stress, the equilibrium position shifts in such a way as to add A. So the only way I can add A is if C and D react to form more A and B. So what will happen? I remove, so I get more A, but of course if I get more A, then I'm going to get more B as well. So that also goes up. And of course I'm using up C and D, so both of those go down. So explore this and change what happens when you add more C, take away C, and so on. You will look at this again in lesson 5 when these values have more meaning. Goodbye.